It sounds like a joke, a ludicrous whisper on the fringes of the fandom. But what if one of the oldest and most discussed Harry Potter theories is actually true? What if Ron Weasley clumsy, snack-loving Ron was secretly the legendary Albus Dumbledore sent back in time? It's the ultimate secret, and the evidence is surprisingly compelling. The theory hinges on physical evidence. Fans point to their similar descriptions: tall, thin, and notably, the color of their hair. Young Dumbledore was described as having an auburn or reddish hue to his hair. But the strongest clue? The scars. Dumbledore suffered a strange knee injury in his youth, later claiming to have a scar in the exact shape of the London Underground map. Ron, too, suffers strange, distinct injuries throughout the series. If the resemblance is more than a coincidence, it suggests a profound disguise. Why would Dumbledore choose the persona of Ron Weasley, Harry's best friend and constant companion, to guide Harry from the closest possible vantage point without overwhelming him with the pressure of the Chosen One title? The true genius of the theory lies in the moments of luck. Ron, often clumsy, pulls off strategic, game-winning maneuvers that defy his character, sacrificing himself in the Philosopher's Stone chess game, or his bizarre yet ultimately critical knowledge of common-sense Muggle items during the Horcrux hunt. If Ron is Dumbledore, every one of these moments wasn't luck. It was perfectly calculated strategy, deployed precisely when Harry needed it most. It redefines their entire friendship and turns the whole 7-book saga into a guided history lesson for the future. The greatest deception. Is Ron Weasley a time-traveling Dumbledore? The quirks align too perfectly. Both Ron and Dumbledore share an obsessive love for sweets. Dumbledore's patience and manipulation of events are legendary. And what could be a greater manipulation than spending 7 years as your successor's best friend? Ron often disappears or acts strangely when Dumbledore is performing his most critical actions, suggesting he was briefly absent or operating elsewhere. Ron's most important function is often to be the emotional anchor and, at times, the reality check Harry needs. When Ron gets angry or jealous, he is essentially testing Harry's patience and strength, a critical lesson Dumbledore knew Harry needed to learn without the pressure of a headmaster telling him what to do. The relationship is designed to be messy, real, and ultimately protective. Ron occasionally displays strange gaps or surges in knowledge. He's terrible at schoolwork, yet possesses an innate understanding of certain strategic magical concepts. The theory suggests Dumbledore, operating in Ron's body, sometimes slips up, revealing knowledge or wisdom that number 15-year-old boy could possibly possess. The main flaw in the theory is the logistics of time travel. Current wizarding law strictly limits the use of time turners to mere hours. To spend 7 years as Ron, Dumbledore would need an ancient, limitless time turner or entirely different, undocumented magic, a magical device perhaps even more powerful than the Elder Wand itself. This requires us to accept that Dumbledore broke every known law of magic. If the theory is true, Dumbledore's calmness in the face of death is explained. He knew he would survive, or rather, he knew his younger self would continue the work. His life as Ron was an act of profound, selfless love for Harry, an attempt to atone for his own youth by ensuring Harry had the perfect, protective friend he himself never had. Was Ron Weasley actually a time-traveling Dumbledore? Probably not, according to established canon. But the theory endures because it speaks to two profound truths. First, Dumbledore's meticulous planning was so comprehensive, we have to invent time travel to explain it. Second, it highlights that Ron Weasley's importance to Harry Potter was so vital that only the greatest wizard of all time could fulfill that role. If Ron is Dumbledore, what's the funniest moment where you think he almost slipped up? Let us know your favorite piece of evidence for this wild theory in the comments below. And what other massive fan theory should we tackle next? Your ideas truly shape the magic here on Omniva.